All right, everyone. Welcome back to the Behind the Stripes podcast. I'm Rama Peroo, joined as always by Cowley College Hall of Famer and two-time JUCO World Series winning coach, Dave Burroughs.
Glad to be here.
Yeah, good to see you, Coach. I know we've had a little time off from this, and it's great to be back with the podcast. And we got a familiar face with us today, Cowley College head men's basketball coach, Donnie Jackson.
What's up, Rama?
Yeah,
Glad
Coach.
to be here again, Coach Dave.
Yep.
Always good to have you.
Glad to have you.
Yeah. Well, we were talking about who we should have for this week's podcast, and Coach said, hey, let's go a little different route. Let's bring someone in that we can talk Cowley with, but also let's talk a little sports, too. So for this segment, we're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to talk Cowley, and then we're going to get into what's going on in the world of sports, something that Coach Dave and I do weekly, too, with the radio station here in town, and we have a lot of fun with that. And so Coach Donnie's joined us with that, and always is a fun time.
Yeah, I look forward to those opportunities.
Yeah, but we look forward to your insight today. And we're going to start with, guys, there's some really good news for Cowley overall. Cowley got sixth place in the Ron Case Cup, Natica Cup standings. So, this was a great finish for Cowley. We always look to try to finish in the top 10 as an athletic department. It's based off of how your team's doing in the regular season and going to national tournament competitions. And Cowley made a 2-spot improvement from 8th last year to 6th this year. And we're one of 3 schools in the Jayhawk Conference to finish in the top 10. So great job by Cowley College Athletics, and you guys are a big part of that, Coach.
Yeah, we've been a familiar face over time in the standings.
For sure,
Always
definitely.
like seeing those trophies in the trophy case.
Me too. And a guy you're very familiar with, Coach. You've called a lot of his games this year when you were doing Cowley Tiger baseball. But Drake Fitro had a great season this year. Did not commit an error in center field. And a couple weeks ago was honored as a Gold Glove Award winner in the conference. And then NJCAA came out and gave him the same honor as Gold Glove.
Yeah, good for him. And you know what? He's going to continue his career right up the road at Wichita State. So we'll get to see that even more. Tune it on the plus, or just go see a game, get to see him play some stellar defense.
You know, we see him playing center field for the Tiger baseball team and Bree Curry center field for the softball team. We were pretty lucky to be able to watch 2 unbelievable defensive talents in center field for the Tigers.
All you had to do was turn on ESPN, and you could see a highlight play by a Cowley center fielder.
That's true. Very true. Bree and Drake just did outstanding. And Donnie, I'd like to talk to you a little bit about, we've mentioned here on the podcast that you had a team camp came up about what was that? When was that? About 2 weeks ago? June 9th. So about 2 weeks from today. And tell us a little bit about how that went, because I know you had a lot of teams in here. You had Capon, led by Coach Steve Eck, and you obviously had Ark City, Winfield, a lot of Oklahoma schools that were in here. But tell us how the camp went.
I thought it went really well, some really good matchups. But you saying, Capon and Coach Eck, I thought that was really cool. His 2 seasons here at Cowley, he had won 60 games.
Yeah, pretty incredible.
And, that's pretty improbable to average 30 wins a year.
Well, your squad did that just a couple years ago, which made that one of
2
only times that's happened in
Yeah.
program history. So,
but seeing them was really fun. I saw Coach Eck and Coach Dave interacting in the training room, which I thought was really cool.
That's great.
But we had Wichita Heights. We had Mays. We had Highland Park. We had Derby. You know, you have some perennial state powers. Derby made state. Heights made the Final Four. Mays made state. Capon was in the championship game.
Mm-hmm.
Then we had the 5A state title champion Newcastle. You had a Final Four participant with PC North, who was 27-2, and PC North and Capon matched up, and it came down to sudden death. So you had 2 teams that combined for 55 wins matching up, which I think is cool.
Wow.
That they were here, competing at the Cowley team camp.
For sure.
And then you had Tulsa Memorial, perennial power, not to mention other local teams besides Ark City, Winfield, with Coffeyville and South Haven and Central Burton and Augusta, Newkirk. And so there's a lot of local flavor, and it was good to see a lot of talent.
Terrific. Outside of those teams that come here and the kids get that experience of playing in our gym at W.S. Scott Auditorium and also over at Ark City High School, what do you guys get out of having the camp here? What do you hope to be able to accomplish by having that?
Well, each team has at least 10 kids. That's 160 kids that you get to see. Mm-hmm. And, I offered a couple, and there's definitely a few more that I'm going to keep my eye on that are seniors and not to mention all the underclassmen. But doing those things, I think it's helped to have built relationships over time. I mean, you're talking about 25 years worth of relationships with some of those coaches. And so I think it's helped to be able to get them here. And I think Cowley's in a great location where we're an hour south of Wichita. We're an hour and 30 minutes north of OKC. We're an hour 40 from Tulsa. So you can get some big name schools. And some of those guys have either played for me or, I wanted to hire at some point as an assistant, or you recruited, or you met over time recruiting one of their players. And so it just kind of helps getting those guys here and selling your vision when they know you can deliver on it.
Terrific. So you had an opportunity to visit with Coach Eck a little bit?
Yeah, for sure.
Always good to see him, isn't it?
I enjoyed myself.
Yeah.
It was fun talking to him.
He's such an unassuming guy. If you did not know who he was, you'd have no idea he's one of the most successful basketball coaches in the country, would you?
I think the thing about Coach Eck, no one knows that he'd be one of the most successful volleyball coaches or baseball coaches or whatever.
You're
He
right.
could coach anything and be really good at it.
I think that's a great point, Coach, because I think whenever he first got hired at Cowley in 2008, I remember asking him at the time, some of his favorite accomplishments, and I think he mentioned his middle school volleyball team that he coached to a title was his favorite memory. So like you said, he could coach anything.
Yeah,
couldn't he?
I always ask him to come out and sit in the dugout and say, here, if we make a mistake, we'll blame you. So,
Well, one thing I was impressed with is like he coached his butt off, and you're at a summer team camp,
Yeah.
and he's out there.
Not to give away too much, but about
Yes.
pushing 70 or somewhere around that, and doing what he's doing still. My.
He's up the entire game. I don't even know if he sat down, and he's on his guy's butt. But you go watch him in the season. I mean, he's the exact same way as he is in the summer as he is in the season. And I really respect and appreciate seeing that.
I love that too. Good friend. I always love following his success. And you and I had a chance to call his team's game this year whenever we called the Cape and Arc City game.
Yeah,
So
that's exactly right. That was a lot of fun.
that really was. Arc City, how'd they do at the camp?
They went 2-1, and so that was good. They beat Highland Park and they beat Winfield, and then they gave Derby a good game in the first half, and then the wheels kind of fell off. But it was good to see that they can compete, with teams that are either the same level as them, or like I said, to play Derby, who's at the state tournament, and play them the way they did for at least one half. I was happy to see.
Good. That's great. Your squad, I know you're going to have some new faces for next year. How's recruiting gone so far?
I think it's been pretty solid. We'll be a little longer and more athletic in some positions, but we, I think the biggest recruit was, signing Marcus Smith back.
Huge.
And then, we'll have Xavier Vickerstaff, Chase Robinson, LJ Britt, Avon Boulay, and Deshaun Davis back. So we'll have 6 returners. And then we signed South Dakota State transfer Andrell Burton from Campus High School.
That's a big one.
He's a third-year guy. He has a lot to prove, but he was, number 2 player in the state his senior year. Extremely talented, though. He'll add a lot of firepower to the team, kind of replace what Roman Miller did, but also bring some different dynamics to his game. Michael Cates, who is AVCTL D1 Player of the Year, transfer from Butler. He hasn't played yet, but I have high hopes for him. Got a couple other transfers too, so we'll have a couple local flavor kids with Christian Morey and Evan Hutto.
Yeah.
Right up the road from Winfield. They've both been working out every day this summer, and then some traditional freshmen that we're excited about too. But we'll have 7 sophomores and 3 redshirt freshmen. So
That's great to have that
we'll
kind
definitely
of
be a little
experience.
older, and you hope that translates. I was joking with Marcus yesterday. Or a couple days ago, saying I don't think I'll ever have 10 freshmen again. that was it was fun.
I
but
hope you learned your lesson. That's what I hope.
That's right.
Yeah, I can do anything. Like, okay, go ahead. Try it on for size, see what happens.
Yeah, you might.
what I'm hoping is it pays off this next year, because we still made a nice run, but
We did.
it's just some youthful inexperiences along the way.
How about, are you comfortable about talking about the changes on your staff?
Yeah, 100%. Coach Curry left, and I'm going to sign Dakota LeBlanc, or not sign, but work with.
Yeah.
You got me in recruiting mode right now. But
He's
very
in
excited
NIL
about
money.
him.
He's in NIL in his head, and he's thinking about NIL.
He's coming from Arizona Western the last 2 years, and then he also worked with Coach Scurry at Middle Tennessee State.
Oh, that's great. They have that
as a
connection.
GA. Yeah,
okay.
so I think it works really well, and I'm just glad that he has high-level JUCO experience. That's the main thing to me is, Arizona Western won their league this past year.
Terrific.
And so that's good to have someone that has some winning experience on his resume.
Mm-hmm. And Coach Scurry, we wish him well. He was great to have here for the time that he was here at Cowley, and so wish Reggie really well.
We really wanted to, not that we didn't want to win 2 more to get to nationals, but if we would have had won 1 more, that would have been 100 wins together as player coach.
Man.
We hit 99.
Yeah, that's
So in 4 years.
pretty impressive.
But a lot of people
averaging
don't know that,
25
yeah.
wins a season. Boy, yeah.
So he means a lot to me. I'm going to miss Coach Scurry a lot.
I'm sure. Well, we've got some former players that are moving on to play at 4-year level. Are you comfortable telling maybe where some of these guys are going?
So Leslie Owens is going to Newman. So
Great,
we'll be able to see him right up the road playing the MIAA. CJ Majors committed to Central State. Kaiden Thompson signed with Lincoln Memorial, who's been a perennial Division II powerhouse over the past decade. And then we got Marcus Ziegler, who transferred from UCO, going to Northwest Oklahoma State. And then you got Avante Nichols heading to New Mexico Highlands. You got Slim Hugie transferred from Marshall to Austin P. You got Marquise Jones that leveled up from a Division II.
Yeah.
Goldie Beacom into a pretty high-level Division I at James Madison.
Huge.
And then you got MJ Whitlock staying.
Okay, all right.
And then Jeff Wanquo, we'll see where he ends up.
Yeah.
So we got a lot of Tigers all over the place.
Love it. I mean, it's becoming baseball. That's what I used to, you just follow all these guys in the baseball team that are going off everywhere, and really impressive what you've done with the basketball program to have so many guys get that opportunity to keep playing after Cowley.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. And then, Austin Fortune.
Yeah.
Remember him? He
Sure.
signed with Clark Atlanta. And so there's just a lot of Tigers at the Division I, Division II level.
Wonderful. Gives us a great opportunity to keep watching those guys. Turn on ESPN Plus, ESPN, and we'll be watching the former Tigers. So, Coach, I think we're going to get Donnie's opinion on this. He knows a lot more about this than us, but we're going to pick your brain on some of the moves and things that are happening in the NBA. One thing, the New York Knicks winning their first title since 1973. I think we knew going into the season the Knicks had a good team. Didn't know if they were going to be able to go. I think everybody said, even after that Eastern Conference Finals, it was whoever was going to win the Western Conference Finals, that was going to be the champion. It was either OKC or San Antonio, and everybody was kind of writing off this Knicks team that had won 11 straight going into the finals and really were playing great ball. And what Jalen Brunson did, I mean, that guy's, he'll never have to buy a mill in New York ever again, will he? My goodness.
Yeah, no, he's set for life. But and your guys' perspective may be different on this, but I think the Knicks had the advantage because the Spurs Thunder game went, the full.
So long. And they had 8 days off. The Knicks did.
Yeah. And I'm a big believer in this, that the Knicks failed last year in the Eastern Conference Finals, and they kept the majority of their team together. And I just feel like they had the right chemistry, the right chip on their shoulder that they weren't going to lose. I mean, the Spurs are very talented, but they're very youthful and inexperienced, and you saw that on the biggest stage. I mean, they gave up a double-figure lead in every game.
Yes.
But I just think that the resilience and toughness that the Knicks have from previous failures is what drove them. I mean, you got guys that are older, been in the league for a while. Why am I going to let these young guys take what we've worked for all these years? And so I just felt like going into it, if I had a chance, if I had a lot of money and I put something on the series, I definitely would have bet on the Knicks
Wow.
to win it.
Coach, he made a great point when he said that a lot of returning pieces, they kept that team together to make another run at it. Reminds me of like your 96 squad that, was so good but didn't quite get there. And you brought back a lot of key pieces that led to them winning it in 97. Is that kind of the same scenario?
It's called motivation, too. And our guys were motivated, and I think the Knicks were probably more motivated than the Spurs were. And plus, I think this happens in professional athletics or professional sports. Those guys are getting older, and they realize their window of opportunity is going to close, and it is closing. And it's like we're going to be a little bit more motivated now, a little bit tougher, and things that are going to go our way because we're going to make it happen that way. And I think that's what happened in that series. So I wouldn't. I probably would have took the Spurs because I thought they were probably better. But the best teams don't always win, or the best players don't always win. It's the best teams.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
And
I'm
that's
a
what
big
happens.
believer in the chemistry aspect.
Absolutely.
How about the Villanova effect there
Yes.
that they have with those guys? So playing together. I mean, in the Josh Hart, Jalen Brunson, they have that chemistry together. They know how to play together and win. And that's all they've ever known is winning.
Well, one of the storylines that probably doesn't get talked about enough is, the non-guaranteed contract of Landry Shamet.
I'm so glad you brought it up. Being a WSU guy, that's why my son is a diehard New York Knicks fan. Is they had Clee Anthony early and Ron Baker when he was about a 12-year-old kid. And he was like, man, they got these shocker guys that he could continue to follow. And they've always had kind of different players from WSU. It's really weird. And now Landry Shamet, who I've got to, swallow my pride here and say I was wrong. I did not. When he was at WSU, I knew he was a good player and he was a shooter. But to translate his game into the NBA and be able to make the money he's making now, I didn't see that coming. So congrats to him for the hard work he's put in.
100%. And I brought up the non-guaranteed contract thing at the beginning of the year. Is like you could be cut at any time and not get your money. And he played that way.
He did.
He's playing for the next contract. Mitchell Robinson had surgery on his hand. He's playing through injury. That shows me those guys were going to do whatever it took.
That's the best motivation there is, playing for your paper.
That's
Yes.
right, isn't it? I know. I always look at that when I'm doing fantasy football. I'm like, okay, is this guy in a contract year? Because he needs to go out and have a big year right now to be able to get another one. So
It's funny. It works all across the board when your back's against the wall.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You start doing a little more.
for sure. But no, congratulations to the Knicks and what that brought to the city. I mean, you could just see on that parade and the excitement. It was really cool. So, and then the big news in the NBA also, Giannis getting traded to the Miami Heat. There'd been a lot of discussion for quite a while now about the potential of Giannis getting traded. Didn't know where he'd end up, but Miami, what do you think of the trade, and how do you think it benefits maybe both teams?
Well, initially I thought he was going to Boston, for Jaylen Brown and, superstar for superstar. Not sure how still it'd work out, but I think even though Milwaukee didn't get a superstar in the deal, I mean, that with all those draft picks, and even though it may not pay off for, 4 or 5 years, I think they set themselves up for the future to have a nice core down the road. And it's not like they have bad players. They may not be great this year, but, I mean, Hero and Ware and Sixth Man of the Year. And,
Right.
I mean, you got some pretty good pieces that can at least make you competitive.
Sure.
And maybe that's a play-in game, or maybe it's a 6 seed, but they should be at least be able to get themselves up there somewhere. I mean, that's a pretty good haul.
Pretty good haul, isn't it? With 3 first-round picks to go along with those guys.
Yeah.
So, and that leads us into tonight's draft, NBA draft tonight. A lot of talk about who's going to be that number 1 pick. So maybe Darren Peterson from KU, maybe AJ DeBonsa from BYU. I think it's pretty well down to those 2 guys. I don't see a sleeper in the mix that would come in. But if you were the Wizards and have the number 1 pick tonight, who would you be leaning towards?
Well, it just kind of depends to me on how they view their roster. I mean, you got Trae Young back.
Yep.
You got Sarr, who's a defensive-minded forward. You got Anthony Davis. You got a couple other good young pieces. Do you get a guard that can score, or do you get a big wing that's going to cause a lot of problems, even though he might take away some time from other developmental pieces? Like, I think Peterson probably is the right fit for what they probably need, but I don't think you pass up AJ for Peterson. I just don't, because of his size and length and scoring ability.
Anything with, there was a lot of drama surrounding Peterson throughout the season. A lot of times where he'd play a half and then all of a sudden he's on the exercise bike and not there for the second half, or he's obviously right before the game time, a scratch from the game. There was some moments like that frustrated KU fans. Anything to read into that, though? I mean, for NBA teams, that they should have any worries or concerns that guy wouldn't be there once the bell tolls and he's supposed to be in the lineup? Or is that just what happened? It was an aberration there at KU.
I'm avoiding Peterson, if you want my honest opinion. I'd rather have Darius Acuff, and he may
from
not be the
Arkansas.
same potential that Peterson has, but I'm going with somebody. I think he's going to have more of a chip on his shoulder, and I think he's going to have more of an overall offensive upside. Call me crazy when I say that, but man, that dude can really score, and he's durable. And I think he'll be a better pro than he was a college player. Like, I look at him as like a Westbrook type. So as a scorer, not the facilitator part, but I personally am taking him over Peterson. And they may not see it the same way because he has a little more size and length and explosion and this or that. But I do look at those things as red flags. And KU wasn't even as good with Peterson.
No, they weren't.
That'd be my biggest red flag if I was the skipper. Is like,
yes,
maybe it's perception, maybe it's reality. I'm not sure. But why did it appear that KU played better without him in the lineup?
And they did. They actually had a better record, Coach, when he was not in the lineup.
Yeah, so if Kimmer's is a big deal and makeup over matchup's a big deal, then I'd be leery too.
but AJ didn't win at a high level.
Yeah.
So that's why I wonder how this will really go. They are both talented, but will they be somebody you can win a championship with? So we'll see.
Yeah, tonight's draft will be fun to watch to see how it shakes
I'm so
out.
excited. I can't wait. I've been looking forward to this draft like last year's draft. Two of the better drafts in recent memory as far as talent.
You got an NBA team you cheer for?
Mavericks or Thunder.
Okay.
Just because they're, down the road.
Well, speaking of the Mavericks, big deal there. Dusty May leaving from Michigan to become the head coach. They just won a title there at Michigan and leaving to be the head coach now for the Mavericks. Your thoughts on that?
I'm excited about that. I think he does a great job, and he kind of has a pro mind when you listen to him in his interviews, just talking about salary caps and, control and this and that. Like, he was talking about how NCAA Division I basketball is so hard now because it's so unstable. With he feels like there should be buyouts for if you get a mid-major kid coming to a high major, you have a buyout because there should be contracts on kids and this and that. And I'm not saying I don't disagree. So there needs to be some kind of staple that in the rules that NCAA follows to get some control over all these transfers and get some stability where the fans are still following some of these people that they invest money in.
For sure.
It's not fun when you just have them for a year, then they're gone.
I've said this for a while now. I mean, back when my son was little, I could buy him a jersey of his favorite college player, and he'd be able to wear it for 2 or 3 years. Now, what are you going to waste money? You get to watch that kid for 5 months, and then he's gone to the next highest bidder. So, I mean, there's just no loyalty and no – I don't know. Like I say, it bums me out. I like what you said, though, that where that you can be a fan of that school and you're going to see that person for more than one season. So
there's more stability in the NBA than there is in college now.
NFL too. I mean, that's the way it is. They have rules for free agency, and they have they do have caps, but it is what it is until they get it fixed. And I don't know. We all know it's a problem, but what's the solution? That's the biggest problem. So.
Yeah,
I don't know. And this thing about the World Series just ended, and think about all the Troy goes to the World Series. How many of those guys are auditioning for a bigger payday?
Oh my!
And how can you blame them? It'd be just like them. The freshman kid from North Carolina should be in high school. You don't think the SEC schools aren't going to try to give him a sweet package to buy him out of UNC?
For sure.
He's a North Carolina kid, but still somebody comes at you with a $2 million paycheck.
Yeah.
How you going to turn it down?
Yeah, no, I agree with you.
No, I don't fault the kids at all. I mean,
it is what it is. So even the Oklahoma freshman pitchers, those guys in Oklahoma don't have some of the same money that LSU has or Florida has or Tennessee or A&M or Texas or guys like that. So, I bet there's some calls being made today. They're on their way home, and I bet people are calling those kids.
So I got a question on that kind of stuff, though, is, those kids that they're so young, and they get that big opportunity and paycheck, do they get comfortable and lose sight of where their passion really started from, and then they just don't perform the same because they got their one paycheck? Or do you try to get multiple paychecks and get better and this and that? Because I feel like a lot of kids that get the check, they start trending down, and the ones that don't, they trend up.
Yeah.
Why is it so backwards?
I think the kids that get that big bonus check, maybe the next year out might scuffle because look at the data in MLB. Guys will sign for a big contract and they don't earn their paper, so to speak. But when it's come time for that year
contract year,
there you go. You'll see those guys turn it back up, and I think those guys will do that too. The thing about this, got to worry about staying healthy now. Especially those arms. I mean, those guys, they're just a throwaway from TJ or a shoulder problem or whatever. But like I said, I mean, if I was 19 and I was a freshman, my phone, if it was ringing today, I'd be picking it up and talking to people.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, guys, I'm blanking on who this was, but it was a couple weeks ago, first-round pick in the NFL draft just recently. He signed his rookie deal, and the reporter said, hey, you signed your rookie deal, got all millions of dollars now. What are you going to do with this? Most players, when they get their first big deal, they buy a house or they buy a car or they do something for their parents. What are you going to do? And he was brutally honest about it. And he said, I've got the house, I've got the car, I've got everything I ever wanted. I don't know what I'm going to do with this money now. Because he had made so much in college already. He already had the house, already had the car, already had all the jewelry, had everything, gave the parents. Now it's just money in the bank. I mean, it's crazy.
Well, now that, Major League Baseball is going to do away with the high school draft, and you could go to Kansas City right now and ask every player. You could ask Bobby Witt Jr., like, Bobby, would you have signed if you had NIL money now? I bet most of them would say, I would have went to college. Yep. Why not? I can go be a kid. I don't have to worry about getting let go. I'm going to make money, and I'm going to have a good time for 3 more years,
right,
and be a kid, and not have to be an adult and be a professional.
Be the big man on campus.
Yeah, absolutely.
Make millions. Darren Peterson, I hate to single him out, but just because he's down the road and you get to see so much KU, I felt like that was a circumstance of it. He already got the money. Yeah. Now, do you think KU fans feel like they got their return on investment with the money that was given to him? Not at all. But to him, I just felt like he already got the payday. Now don't get hurt. Now just, play when I want to play, and then get ready to get his NBA on. So
you hate it, but you're making valid points. It all makes sense. I don't want to get hurt.
No,
I don't want to get hurt my contract year. I just don't. So, but to get paid, you have to run into walls and dive over benches to get loose balls and stuff like that. So I don't know. Like I said, there is an issue, but I'm not the guy that's going to fix it for anybody.
But that's where the casual fan that is a fan of a NBA player, college player, or heck, it's probably going to be a high school player anymore here with NIL. But you go to see one of these guys and then they don't play, and the ticket cost for that.
I know.
And the time invested, and then you don't get to see your favorite player or this or that because load management or so on and so forth, but they're getting paid to sit out.
I know. Nothing against, and I mean, it happens. So guys are going to need a night off sometimes, but sometimes it's, unfortunately, those guys need to be out there if they're able to play. I mean, it used to be, you go back 20, 30 years ago, and I know it's a different time and era and stuff, but Jordan, he wasn't taking games off. He was playing 82 games a season. I mean, and this is a guy that didn't have to, but was going to be out there every single night. I mean, you'd have to rip that jersey off of him for him not to be out there. And now I see games like that where I saw a fan that came to watch Wemby play a couple months ago in the regular season and said, I came all the way from England to watch Wemby. Well, he was on the sidelines. You got to see Wemby. He was on the sidelines, but he wasn't playing, and he was a healthy scratch. Well, something had nicked up, but
one of my favorite arguments for the Jordan era and the LeBron era is when Jordan was with the Wizards at the twilight of his career, he's playing 81 and 82 games and playing 37, 38 minutes a night.
Yeah. When
LeBron's playing 60, if that.
Right.
And, he's still performing well, but that's 22 less games of wear and tear. Mm-hmm. And, Jordan was able to do that. And I miss those days.
I do too.
So I have a question for you. I'm sure that the advisors have hit college basketball like they have college baseball. Everybody has an advisor. It's just another word for being an agent. Mm-hmm. And those guys are that's where the bad advice comes from in baseball. I'm sure it is in basketball too. I mean, I imagine Peterson had an advisor, don't you reckon?
Oh, yeah.
He was probably telling him, hey, you don't want to play that. You can't play 40 minutes. Your body's going to break down. It's going to hurt you. You won't be the number one pick. So that comes into play.
Sure.
The coach is the last guy that gets to have – he is the last guy to have a say. Like, hey, man, the team needs you. Like, do what?
Right.
Who? I need myself.
I can't imagine Bill Self, as much as you want to have a player that's maybe the most talented in college basketball on your team, that's a headache he's probably not missing too much next season. Just that whole saga of all the media following Darren Peterson and if he's going to play or if he's not. And then when he takes himself out of games, I'm sure Bill's ready to be past that now. So
that's why guys are getting out of it, because you got not only Peterson, you got 11 more guys you got to deal with that with right. No rules. There's no rules.
Nope.
So you don't have to worry about them leaving after 1 year. Now you got to worry about them leaving after one semester.
Exactly right. I mean, Scott Drew at Baylor a couple years ago said, that he would never recommend his kids get into coaching because now, he said, I'm not only so worried about recruiting the kids for my team, I'm every day checking on the kids that I have on my own team to make sure they're not getting poached by someone. So it's constant, hey, are you guys still good? You're still here? Well, because while I'm going out recruiting, I need to know if you're still here today before I go see if I need to fill your spot, too.
So I don't know what the NCAA rules are now, but if you're into putting something on social media, you could post something and say, hey, I'm looking for a
Come get me.
6'7" and got a lot of money in the bank for you. There'll be people answer that.
No, there will.
Yeah, Diego Pavia, when he played, when he was at New Mexico State, and he played Vanderbilt, and after the game, he went right over to the coach, and he said, come get me. Well, and he did, They went and gave him the money, and they got him away. So
And it was worth every penny if you're Vanderbilt.
It is. And what's sad, though, is when he was at New Mexico State, that's not a good thing when you're there with your teammates and you're trying to win games and you're going to the opposing coach saying, come get me. He's already got his future thinking ahead. I'm already leaving here, But
There you go again. He probably had an advisor in his ear telling him what to do and how to think.
Yeah. Hey, we touched briefly on Oklahoma and North Carolina. We're talking there about the College World Series yesterday.
First, we need to go Boomer.
Sooner.
There you go,
Heck
bro.
Yeah, I know. And Donnie was singing the song before, but we're not going to bore you guys with that. But
Well, he's a little off key, so we don't want him on there.
Definitely off key.
That's the one song we can't mess up.
yeah, but this was one that was, had to make you feel really good last night, Coach.
It was awesome. I'm going to tell you something else with the point we're talking about. They say college baseball is getting older. Well, think of the three freshman pitcher and the freshman pitcher from North Carolina are all freshmen. The kid out of North Carolina should be in high school.
Unreal.
He graduated a semester early, and he showed up at North Carolina in January. So I guess it's getting older, but it's also getting younger. And they said it's going to continue to get older because, like I said, the Major League Draft for high school kids is going to be eliminated.
Okay.
So those kids have got to go somewhere.
Yeah.
Hopefully there's a spillover that they come here.
I hope
Or places like this, and JUCO baseball will
That
get
might help.
where, but it was good. Oklahoma, what can you say about them that nobody's already said? I mean, they go to Georgia Tech. They overcome two deficits that most teams would have lost. They won on the road to ACC champion. They go to the Big 12 champion, Kansas, and they manhandled them.
woodshed, yeah.
Oh, it was a woodshed moment is what it was. And then you beat the SEC champion and tournament champion, regular season and tournament champion twice in Omaha. And then, you get to play North Carolina, who supposedly had the best roster, because that's all the commentators wanted to talk about early was, hey, they just have that feel. They have the best pitching. They have this. They have that. Well, Oklahoma they scored 13 off that great pitching last night. So it just shows you it's all about how you finish, not how you start.
And that's a great point.
Great
because
lesson.
Oklahoma finished 11th in the SEC with a losing record at 14-16. We're kind of a bubble team to even get an opportunity to play in the postseason like they did. And you talk about catching fire at the right time, and that is, exactly what they did is they hit their stride, and, man, they did not look bad.
Absolutely. All kind of teaching moments in the finish that Oklahoma had, in my opinion. It's about, hey, it is about chemistry. It is about caring for one another. It is about sticking together, because they fought through adversity all year long. I mean, they lost their last four series in the SEC. And go to the SEC tournament and get beat by LSU, who was last year's defending champion, but didn't make the tournament. So that's not a good loss right there.
Right.
And then, we'll send them to Georgia Tech, thinking there's no way they're going to win.
Yeah.
There's no way. And it looked like they weren't going to win. They're down 8-2 in the seventh inning in one of those elimination games and come back and win a game. Goodness. And what made it so entertaining, in my opinion, it was a team effort. You got Taki playing first base, who hit like 2 home runs through the first 45 games and hits 8 in the last in the tournament.
Incredible.
In the tournament, like you can't make this stuff up.
No,
it's just that's how refreshing it was, and just to see the camaraderie and how much those guys care for each other. And like I said, it's not the best players; it's the best team, and the team that plays the best is going to win. And Oklahoma played the best. That's all there is to it.
Coach, have you ever had a squad like that to where maybe the regular season wasn't what you wanted, but you got all of a sudden that they kind of got hot or made a run in the tournament to, give yourselves a chance? And like I say, talking about a team that gets hot at the right time, have you had one of those teams that kind of got hot at the right time?
Not like that kind of hot, but usually if we've been good, we were good.
Yeah.
But this year might have had a little taste of it with us in the playoffs. We didn't end the regular season off strong, but in the playoffs, we played really well together and played the right way, and that's why I'm hoping it propels into a run next year. But I guess maybe the closest thing might have been in the COVID year in the preseason. We had 7 days of practice after 60 days off.
Oh, my.
And we scrimmage Hutch. They kicked our butt. We scrimmage Independence 1 by 1, and then we scrimmage Coffeyville, and we get blasted by 30 heading into our first 2 games with Cowley. And then we win both. And then we won 11 in a row to start the season, and then we lose 1 and win 13 more. But if you were to go through the preseason, out of 7 days of practice, I didn't think we'd be any good at all.
Yeah, right.
And that's with a lot of returners. So that's probably the closest thing in my mind to something like that.
Congratulations to Oklahoma. That's their first title since 1994, the third in program history. The other one came clear back in 1951. So, a heck of a run by the Sooner baseball team.
As we say back in the old days when I was playing, like them boys played outside their mind. And that's what they did in the whole tournament. It was, like I said, you couldn't have drew that. You couldn't, if you were writing a movie for Hollywood and you made that script, no one would believe it.
And it was kind of cool seeing Toby Keith's wife there and daughter and them celebrating too. Because we used to always.
OU fan.
Oh, he was huge. I mean, I used to see him obviously at all the OU basketball games, the football games, but didn't realize his wife said too he was there at the baseball games as well. He was just a Sooner through and through.
Yeah, I was getting text all night long about what do you think about this. I go, all I got to say is Oklahoma dominates on the diamond. And Patty better get after because what's the deal here? You're not holding up your end of the bargain.
Yeah, Patty Gasso. Got some work to do, huh?
Yeah, come on now. You're dropping the ball on us right
What have
here.
you done for me lately?
Yeah, really. Well, Toby Keith should have been around. What do you think of me now, huh?
That's right.
I don't know if you saw it coming, but you had it coming, though.
Yeah. Well, hey, Coach, also one other thing I thought I'd pick your brain on real quick before we shift gears. 8 of the Big 12's top 30 scorers transferred to another school. It's just kind of where we're at with things. We talked about that. So, but early on, looking into next year, with some of this movement in the Big 12, do you still feel like it's the top teams, Arizona, KU, Iowa State, that are going to be the main ones there battling for the title in the conference?
I don't know.
Yeah, there's so much movement, right?
There
it's
is.
Crazy.
It's a wait and see approach. I mean, that's just, I think, every sport in every league anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, you want to say one league's really good at something one year, and then it may be completely flipped to something else the next. It's
Sure.
probably just more of a wait and see approach. I didn't realize it was that many guys that scored that much. Usually those guys want to feel comfortable going back to where they were because they know they have a guaranteed role being the guy. That's actually pretty shocking to see it's that many.
Yeah, money can't buy love, but it can buy you a basketball player, though.
We're finding that to be true. Hey, college football-wise, guys, real quick. Texas Tech quarterback Brendan Sorsby, who we know went through, had some gambling issues that he had went and sought treatment for, and there was a lot of talk about whether he would be eligible to play at Tech, and then he did become, he was temporarily eligible, then ineligible, and then he just decided, hey, I'm going to the supplemental draft. So supplemental draft works to where it's kind of a blind auction is how I think it works, to where whichever team puts in the highest bid for him, like someone wants to offer a third-round pick and everybody else was offering fourth, or someone offers a second, whatever's that highest one is going to get him. Being a Steelers fan and watched Kenny Pickett, Mitch Trubisky, Justin Fields, Mason Rudolph, 43-year-old Aaron Rodgers, they got to have someone for the future. You guys think the Steelers would be a team that should try to maybe throw out a third-round pick or something and hope that maybe that's the best option and can try a Brendan Sorsby? Or what are your guys' thoughts on that?
My big thing is, there we go again. We talk about chemistry and makeup.
Yeah.
If a guy bets on his own team and he's a leader in the face of my football program, man, I don't know. I might not go as high as the third round. I'd say, there you go again. It's all about trust, and they have to trust you. You have to trust them, and I don't know. That's in Texas Tech. They put it in reverse. They backed up. They didn't know what was going to happen out of all this. Yeah. And that guy's in the supplemental draft because he was told to. It's not because he wants to.
You're right, Coach.
So
my answer is absolutely not.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not touching
Stay
it
as
with
far away from this guy as possible, huh? Yeah.
I mean, I know Peterson's injuries and red flags are separate, but that's the same thing. I don't want him. I don't want
He didn't bet on his team. He didn't bet his team to win or lose or whatever.
That's insane.
You know?
Yeah.
And it seems like it's become more acceptable that guys do that. But I think of the Pete Roses and those guys and the Chicago Black Sox?
Yeah.
And, I mean, all the ones that have been shunned over time for integrity of the game.
And then to think this kid could end up making out just fine. Yeah, you're right. I'm with you guys. You know, I want to win as a Steelers fan, but I have always been the type that I can't stand cheering for bad character guys on my team. I always thought, man, I just never wanted a TO, or I don't mean to single these guys out, but certain guys that have these attitudes and just think they're above the team. Not that this guy thinks that he's above the team, but he's done things that kind of puts him above the team if you're in the situation he's done with his gambling issues and things.
You do a lot of things. You know, we can negotiate a lot of problems, but when you bet on your team, when you're told not to, that's the one line you can't cross.
Yep, that's right.
Everything else we can get through it. It might be hard. It might be difficult. You might have to go to rehab. That's part of it. We'll stand beside you. But when you betting against us or betting, I'm not saying he bet against his team to win or to lose, either one. But he bet.
But you're right. But he did place that bet one way or another.
Yeah, I can't go there. So.
And you question any decisions you make. Like, are you throwing the game?
Well, watching the game, it'd be in the back of your mind, like, hey, he missed that guy by 20 feet. Mm-hmm. Maybe just having a bad day, but you're not going to go there.
Maybe his buddies are having a good day because of that.
Well,
he gave some
and
inside
that's
information
the thing about it too. How many people you're going to influence if you start betting on your team? Like, hey, I'll slide you some cake here, Jack.
Right.
Here's some money for sure.
I wonder if NBA players or any player they get on DraftKings and see the odds and this and that, and they just throw it one way or another.
You see your prop line set at 17 for the night, and you tell your buddies, hey, man, I'm going to get 14 tonight. I'm going to go under that 17. I'm going to make sure it, and go get you some side cash.
Just make sure you don't text about it.
Yeah.
Verbalize it.
I know.
Not recording you. Why not?
It makes you wonder. It makes you really question sometimes when you watch the games and you see some of the things that happen. And you're like, boy, you hope it doesn't, but
it wouldn't entered your mind 30 years ago.
No,
or 20 years ago.
All
like
the time now.
yeah,
right.
Yeah. Now it enters your mind, and whether it's true or not, it still enters your mind.
Well, guys, Major League Baseball-wise, the Royals starting to play a little better here of late. They took 3 of 4 against the Cardinals and then won last night at Tampa Bay. So Bobby Witt Jr. suffered a grade 1 MCL sprain, though, the other night in that 14-6 win. But Royals manager, is it Matt Quickrero? I always say it. Yeah, but he said that hopeful that Bobby Witt will be available in a couple of days. So it looks like they avoided any long-term damage.
In the game they lost, they got beat 12-10, so the offense showed up. So
it really has.
Yeah, so hopefully they're getting on a little mini heater, and it's going to carry them over to the All-Star break, and they're going to dwindle that below 500 to about 7 or 8. They're a second-half team, and we all can be optimistic, right? Because that's what it is if you're a Royals fan.
Sure, and the White Sox and Cleveland are tied for first and not running away with that division. So giving them a chance to stay in it till they can try to make a run.
And you're going to play you got to play all those teams in your division 2 or 3 more times. So all those games are going to be head up. So you can make up some ground. It's not like you're playing the Yankees or, you can't catch the Yankees in the wild card spot because you're not going to play them again. You got to depend on somebody's help. But in interdivision stuff, you got a chance.
I got to tell you guys this. The Dodgers, first team to 50 wins, and I watched them, I think it was 2 weeks ago, about a week and a half ago, and they were playing my Pirates, and I watched that, basically every pitch of that series, and Shohei Ohtani is so fun to watch. I mean, as much as he hurt my Pirates on that weekend series, it was honestly like watching Babe Ruth. It really was to me. It was every time he came up to bat, he had a chance to hit a home run. Every single time he stepped to the plate, he was a threat, and I think he hit 3 in the 3-game series, and he had 2 others that were right there that you thought were going to be gone, that were off the wall. I mean, he was just, and then he pitched against him too and was dynamite.
And that only happens in Little League.
It does.
Hitting a home run every time up.
But it made me, every single time he came to the plate, there was a potential for it.
Yeah, I coached a kid way back yonder, and he lives in Pennsylvania, and he's about 2 hours from Pitt. And he called me yesterday and goes, "Yeah, hey, I saw Ohtani play." I said, "What do you look like in person?" And he's like, this guy's he walks different.
I bet
he acts different. He's not human, And he saw him pitch, and he was 2 rows behind the dugout, and he said that 100 looked pretty fast coming out of his hand.
Wow.
You can tell when a dude is a dude.
Yeah. They
stand out for sure.
Yeah, they do.
So if you get a chance, I know the Dodgers play a lot of late-night games, but, man, if you get a chance, just watch him. He is just so fun to watch. I mean, as much, like I say, as I didn't like what he was doing against my Pirates. It was just unreal as a baseball fan to watch.
And you know who I like to watch pitch is Yamamoto.
Yes.
You talk about somebody that carves people up.
Uh-huh.
He's harder to hit. He'd be a tougher at bat than Ohtani would, because Ohtani's going to be 100 mile an hour, and it's going to be like that about every pitch. But Yamamoto can make that ball do things that most humans can't make that do.
For sure.
So you're going to go over 4 against that guy. Just write it down.
Yeah.
Just expect it.
Having the golden sombrero with 0 for 4 there.
It's going to happen.
The Yankees continue to lead the East, gaining a little ground now over the Rays. Mariners are the only team over 500 in the AL West, but A's, Rangers, and Astros are all within only 3.5 games. So interesting division there. The Braves continue to play well and are leading the NL East comfortably. The Brewers, man, they just keep doing it. Still leading the NL Central, playing really well. But a team that's really been a surprise to me in that division, the St. Louis Cardinals.
Me too.
Man, the Cardinals are only, I mean, I think they're leading the wild card race, or right there in it, and they're only 5 games back of the division. And this is a really young Cardinals team.
I made a prediction at the radio station. We were talking about this in April. Like, how about the Cardinals? Like, they're out of it already.
Me too. Forget
They've been eliminated, and the season hadn't even started yet. But J.J. Wonderheld or whatever, played at West Virginia. Mm-hmm. He's wearing it out.
And the bad thing is he's a local Pittsburgh guy. So, of course, his first series played against the Pirates, he just tore it up. Made sure they knew that they didn't draft him. So that's why I know all about that young man.
There's incentive. That's all you need.
Yep.
What's his name? Jordan Walker's finally reaching some of that prospect potential.
Good point. Sure is.
It takes a while to learn the league.
Yeah.
The league's that hard. It's difficult.
I like watching him.
I do too. He's a good player. But, yeah, kudos to the Cardinals. They're hanging around, and I think some Cardinals fans I talked to, they're still trying to believe it, if this is a team that's going to be able to hang in there all year long. But, I mean, what they're doing right now is working.
Well, football season and September baseball is right around the corner. And that's why it's our favorite time of the year. So, and then throw the NFL in there. So,
for sure,
I'm ready. Bring it on.
Hey, NFL, real quick, guys. Rashay Rice completed his 30-day sentence recently. He was released from custody, and now, he was going through his knee surgery that he had also to recover from. So, he missed a significant chunk of the Chiefs' off-season programs and OTAs, but. Coach, I know you're a big Chiefs fan. Your thought on Rashay Rice, and hopefully he's put this behind him and is going to be able to be the guy the Chiefs need this year. What's your thoughts on him and the Chiefs overall? With Patrick Mahomes hopefully ready to play Week 1, but what are your thoughts?
Thumbs down
on Rashay, or
yes,
yeah.
I just think that stuff like that leads bad karma into the season. I feel like those winning seasons, you got a lot of good things,
positive,
going on,
a lot of positive momentum and energy.
Not
yeah,
this kind of stuff. You got Patty Mahomes' knee, then that's going to be a question mark all year. You got Justin Fields, career backup now as the savior. And then you add this in. I just don't like it.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And then who knows the Kelsey effect, if he's going to be all the way bought in.
You're going to hear a lot about wedding plans all season long.
Exactly. And so there's just too many distractions. It makes me think about the Warriors in basketball. They have the talent, they have this, but is the time up? Is the time up on the run? Do they still have enough? And this Rashay Rice news just it kind of bums me out.
I'm going to say the Chiefs bounce back and have a great year.
Think so?
I do.
Okay.
I do. I think Pat Mahomes is that good. And I think this is Travis Kelce's last hurrah. I think he knows it. I think you go about it different when you know you're going to be done. Mm-hmm. And I think they had a good draft. I really do. I think they improved themselves on the defensive side of the ball. And they didn't like that early out last year. So
they didn't. But can you put stock into that knee injury with it being 9 months in, or 10 months, whatever it's going to end up being? That's what I'm fearful of is, can Justin Fields bridge that early gap? Mm-hmm. And that's the part I don't know.
Or will Mahomes even allow them to have that opportunity for Fields to play? Or is he going to say, hey, that competitor in him that's like, no, you're not going to keep me off the field and wants to be there Week 1.
That's why you go out and sign Kenny Walker, though.
Yeah. Now, he could bridge the gap. Yeah. I just hope that there's not a weird twist or turn of an ACL again, and then he.
Well, that's possible for anybody, though. For every time they play, somebody's got a chance to get hurt. But I think Mahomes has a good year. I do. Now, I might have to trust him if I'm Andy Reid. If you say you can go, you got to tell the best quarterback in the NFL. He can't go if the doctors clear him now. That's another story though too, because that's an investment. They got a lot of money tied up in that guy.
With the extension, that's looming over
Yeah.
the franchise.
Yeah, that comes into play.
Yeah, but I guess the reason I'm saying these things, I like the further end of the spectrum on major injuries. So hopefully it doesn't happen again. I tend to err on the side of caution when it comes to significant things, but if the doctor's clear,
Yeah.
He knows his body better than what anybody else knows it. And,
that's true.
and the mental side of it, he's going to be ready to go. But Justin Field, he can hand the ball off. Kenny Walker and the offensive line's good. They improved it in the draft as well. The defense won't be on the bench for 3 plays because they're not going to score in 3 plays. And,
that's right.
So shortens the game down.
Well,
but
Chiefs,
the division's also better. So
it is.
And that's the scary part is everyone else has been playing catch up and building up and
look what the Broncos did last year. Yeah. And you got Harbaugh with the Chargers, who are right there, and you've got the
McDaniel with Marion Hampton.
The Raiders now, they said probably had the best offseason of any team. So, like you say, it's everybody trying to keep up with the Joneses, though, trying to keep up with what Kansas City has built. So, 2 years ago, the Chiefs were 9-0 in one-score games. Last year, I think that flipped almost. So it's a matter of if they can get back to winning those close games. And, Patrick has that cape on again, then they can do it. We'll see. Guys, we're kind of getting close to wrap-up time here, so just a couple things here. Cowley-wise, there's going to be a cool thing Thursday night. If you get a chance, get out to Interest Bank Arena. As we've got 2 of our athletes, Esteban Bissot and also Stephanie Silva, up for the male and female Junior College Athletes of the Year. So that'll be at the Greater Wichita Sports Commission banquet Thursday night at Interest Bank Arena in Wichita. Esteban Bissot was the individual national champion in cross country and in the 3,000-meter steeplechase in the outdoor track season. Stephanie Silva was the defensive player of the year in the J-Out Conference, led the Cowley women's soccer team to conference region titles and a Final Four appearance at the national tournament. So great to see both those athletes get honored this Thursday. Whether they win that or not, it's a great recognition for both of them and for the school. And also, Cowley's preparing to host a youth softball camp for ages 5 through 12 on Tuesday, June 30th from 8:30 to 11:30 at the Ed Hargrove Field in Arc City. And you can also sign up to get a team to compete in the Tiger Skins Brian Groves Memorial Golf Tournament. That'll take place Saturday, August 1st at the Arc City Golf and Fitness. You can go to CowleyTigers.com to reserve your spot or also get a spot for that youth softball camp. And you want to be sure to tune in next Tuesday at 9:30 a.m. and we have a special guest with former Cowley College president Dr. Patrick J. McAtee will be on the podcast. And, Coach, I know you and I are just so excited to be able to talk to Dr. Pat and see how he and his family are doing. And just, it's been a long time.
Take a stroll down memory lane.
For sure. And I know Donnie had a chance to know Dr. Pat as well. And it's always fun to get to visit with him.
Some of my favorite memories were if you beat a rival and he's down in the locker room and he's high-fiving the guys and he's right in the mix of it. And I always appreciated that kind of energy.
For sure.
Brought to the table.
And you've been a part of that as well.
Yeah, I have. Like I said, I had a lot of fun. We did. So
there's things you can say on air, maybe not.
Yeah, well, I'm not gonna say anything at all. But he had a good time and he loved to win.
He did, and just a great human being, great person. Did so many things for this campus. The buildings we see out there, the Brown Center, the Webb Brown, the Hafner Center. The renovations all around campus.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. The cafeteria named after the McAtee Dining Center. Just so many things that he accomplished during his time here, and it'll be great to visit.
I will say this, we better have our A game next week.
You better.
Yeah, we better have our A game.
I'm going to get a good night's sleep.
Yeah, you better get a really good joke next week.
That's right. Hey, and what a lead-in. So are you guys ready for this?
Yes, sir.
All right. So it's time for the joke of the day. So, guys, I've been reading lately. I don't know if you know that about me, but I'm kind of a guy who likes to read. So I've been reading a book lately, though, on anti-gravity. It's impossible to put down. Whew, it's just so good. Yeah.
There you have it. I'm glad you got that one out of the way this week. And
Yeah, I
not
think
next week.
Dr. Pat might boo you off the stage on that.
You gotta
one.
have a PhD. You gotta have a PhD to understand that joke anyway.
Just got a text. Dr. Pat said, sorry, I'm not able to do next
Yeah, really.
Tuesday. Just heard the joke of the day.
My reputation has been tarnished.
Yeah.
Tarnished.
Well, okay, so that wasn't my best one, all right, guys.
Had
but
some good ones.
I'll have better next week,
Yeah.
okay? So, yeah.
You've been gone. I mean, so you're
Thank you.
the clock maybe struck midnight, but maybe not. You just been gone. You didn't have enough time to
well, I'm saving
take
the
one up. You
saving
write
the-
your own jokes, right? I
Well, that's right. All of them are all strictly my own.
Yeah,
and,
absolutely.
I'm saving the best stuff for the stand-up comedy act down there at the casino coming up. So,
It'll be a standing room only too for stand-up comics, especially Rama, Peroo.
Yep.
sure. Well, guys, this has been a lot of fun. Donnie, thank you for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys.
Man, it's always great to sit here and talk sports. And I'll tell you what, the other guy on the other side here, Kris Ripley, I wish we would have had a fourth mic because he would have been joining in, talking all this sports with us too, because he's great to talk sports with as well. And thanks, Kris, for all you do to bring the podcast to the viewers. And we sure had a good time today and are looking forward to next week with Dr. Pat McAtee. Coach, thanks so much again.
I had a great time.
Me too. So all of you out there catching the Behind the Stripes podcast, we sure appreciate you tuning in. And until next Tuesday, we'll see you then.
See you.